Hi, this is Jakob Herrmann at Top Floor Studios. I just finished up my latest collaboration with Toontrack, which is the new Metal Songwriter EZmix Pack, and I thought I would have a little look at it today with you guys. So if you're not familiar with EZmix 3, this is what it looks like when you open it. And I use EZmix 3 a lot, not just when I'm doing demos and pre-producing bands for their recordings, but also when I'm doing recording and mixing. But I also find that a lot of these presets and packs and sounds in this program is really usable for me when I'm doing album mixes. So down here you see the Metal Songwriter Pack, and this is what it looks like in the far right here, all the presets or all the patches. And then on instrument group you have bass, drums, guitars, keyboards, miscellaneous, however you say that word, and vocals. And basically I wanted to make a pack that can be used by anyone when writing or mixing metal music. And I think sometimes when recording or making a song, I think it's really valuable to just be able to throw on something or find something that inspires you. And I wanted to make this pack into two things. One is like a problem solver for drums, and the other would be a quick mix. Well, I guess it's three things. I wanted the second thing to be a quick mix thing where you can basically dial in a mix in a very short time. And the third one was to come up with inspiring guitar and bass sounds, but also presets for vocals and synthesizers and etc. And some of them are quite experimental. So let me see here. If we start in a project I have here that I'm working on, the drums are not very, they're kind of demo-ish. So without anything, the drums sound like this. So they're not bad sounding drums at all, but nothing's been done to them. And just for starters, I'm doing something here on the kick in, and I'm using very few mics for this. Like there's one mic on the kick, there's one mic on the snare, top and bottom. There's two overheads, there's one room mic, one mono room mic. On this kick in, I've used the kick enhancer preset, and without it, it sounds like this. And as you hear, there's some bleed from snare and cymbals, etc. And then I have this magic slider here, the enhance fader. And this thing does so many things at once. And then you have a gate with two different modes, one normal mode and a hard mode. And then you have a reverb if you want to add that afterwards. So just raising the enhance level sounds like this. So as you hear, it does more than just EQ. It's EQ, there's compression, there's some other magic stuff happening under the hood as well. But now the problem is that we're raising some of the bleed as well, and that's when we kick in the gate. And now I have another preset here called Kick Bus, and this is meant to be used on a bus when you have several different mics at the same time, but it can easily be used on in tandem with the kick enhancer preset as well. Same thing on the snare. We have two snares here, snare top and bottom, that is then summed to this snare bus here. So the snare top sounds like this. And now with the snare top enhancer preset. Same thing with the bottom. That one was good right out of the gate. And then on the snare bus, we use the snare bus preset, this one. Let's move on to overheads. And this is the trickiest part in the drum kit, I think, the cymbals. So I made a preset called Cymbals First Aid that has a lot of faders to use. We have D-Mod 1, D-Mod 2, D-Harsh 1, D-Harsh 2, EQ, which is a makeup treble when losing some of that when deharshing, and then tape saturation at the end. And this is basically targeting the frequencies that are often the biggest problem in cymbals. And you can hear that it's kind of subtle, the result, but at the same time it makes a huge difference. So I'm just going to put it in as I go here. And then we have the exciting one, the room. This is as you can see here, it's a mono room mic. It sounds like this. It's not bad, but then with this room mic bus, it sounds like this. And it's not supposed to be shiny or shimmery or have a lot of treble or whatever. This is just supposed to like glue things together. And this room mic bus has a lot of faders as well. You have filters to filter out certain frequencies. We can change this so we can leave some highs in and take some lows out. We have low boost and high cut. Oh, and this is also in a driver, so this is basically a saturation EQ. There's a reverb, of course. And then there's an EQ cut. Cut some lows, cut some highs. And in the end, there's two compressions going in parallel, which is kind of cool. I usually use that trick on room buses all the time anyway. So now with all these EZmix instances on the kick, snare, overhead and rooms, it sounds like this. It used to sound like this. And put it on again. Very nice. And then here on the drum bus, I have another instance of EZmix. And what I like about this is that it's so low latency, like it doesn't demand much from your computer at all. So I've started using this more and more when I track, just to throw it on the drum bus, for instance, so the drummer can have like an instant good sound. And in this pack, I made two drum buses that has a lot of, as you can see, a lot of faders and controls. And then I made one called Drum Bus Mojo, which is just one slider that does a lot of different things. So just drum bus 1 sounds like this. And as you can see, there's a lot of things here you can change. Drum bus 2 sounds like this. And then after drum bus 2, I have this little drum bus mojo, which I really like. And as I raise this fader, you'll hear what it does. So with just EZmix, we went from this to this. And then, of course, in the pack, as you can see here, I have a lot of bass. I have 4 bass amps, rigs, like with amplifier and cabinet and everything. There's a lot of guitars, because, I mean, I can't make a metal songwriting pack without having a lot of guitars. And most of these are my amps here in my studio that I've profiled and through my cabs and everything. So I've built these from ground up. Then I have on the keyboard side, there's 3 different patches for keyboards that are basically, well, you got to try them out yourselves. They're different controls. As you see, they're quite extensive. And some of it is just to make you inspired with your keyboards, and some of it is to actually enhance and work with problem things that occur when mixing keyboards in metal music. Vocals, I have a bunch of vocal things here. I have growl, two different growl presets. I have clean and pushed lead vocals, and then I have some vocal effects, delay and reverb. I have 1 patch for the vocal dubs, which is treated completely different than lead vocals. I have the vocal enhancer, which is again doing many different things that I've summed down to 3 faders: fuller, thicker, and wider. And then vocal harmony bus, that is for vocal harmonies to be treated in a different ways than lead vocals or dubs. And then in the end here, I have 4 master buses. But I've used one of these amps that I've made. So this is just a DI guitar. And with this amp on, it sounds like this. Kind of like that better. I'm gonna copy this over here and then pan these out. And then on the bass, which sounds like this, I have a preset called Bass Shredder. So together, the drums and bass and guitars sound like this. And in the end, of course, I have made some master buses, and on this project I'm using this one called Jakob's Master Bus, which is, I basically made a master bus and used all the things that I like to have in a master bus, but also there's a fader here called Secret Sauce, and that's some stuff in there that I put together in one fader. And then the mid-side boost is boosting the level on either in either the center or on the sides, which is very usable. Presence is of course adding some treble. There's a EQ, very easy generic EQ, and then the final steps are a stereo widener, a master compressor, and a limiter. So when putting this on from this to this, so yeah, that's just one example of the many things that are included in the Metal Songwriter Pack. I couldn't be happier with it, and I hope you have some fun with it. That's the whole point. Until next time, take care.